Hi my loves, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are well. Your girl just touched down. Your girl just touched down. I just came back. I just landed not too long ago. I'm on my way to go pick up my baby Leo. I have a word for you guys. I was gonna post this word this morning, but I had to focus on my flight and focus on getting to the airport and everything like that. But I want to just say something. Oh my goodness. God is so good. God is so great. God is so amazing. And I just want you guys to understand just how truly merciful, how truly gracious our King Jesus really is. And just how beautiful God is. How beautiful God is, you know? And God is the kind of like mother, father, best friend. He is everything to us. Like, he will make sure that we are good. Even when we are about to go through trials and tribulation, God will always make sure that we have a cushion to rest our head on while we're going through it. So it's not as hard. It may feel like it's the hardest thing you're fighting in the moment. It may feel like it's never going to end. But I'm telling you right now, like, when you get past that pressure, to past that stage of the contractions, child, and you're about to give labor, oh my goodness. It's like when you go into the delivery room and, you know, of course, you know, natural birth is the best. But nowadays, you know how they have like that epidural that kind of helps a little bit. It kind of takes a little bit of the pain away. That's how God is. It's like he'll allow you to go through certain things and there'll be a bit of pressure. And then he'll kind of ease it's like he'll bless you in the midst of a warfare. Remember I tell you guys this all the time, that God will bless you in the middle of a warfare. Like, you'll be going through a lot and then he'll just bless you with something. You'll get this email, or you get this financial blessing, or you'll just get this miracle that just came out of nowhere. You're like, God, where did this come from? I'm going through this, and then all of a sudden this comes from nowhere. Like, he will bless you in the midst of a warfare, in the midst of the storm. That's like the cushion. That's like him easing the labor pains a little bit for you, so it's easier for you to push, right? Oh my goodness. I just want to say to you guys that be encouraged, and just know that there is so much happening right now at the beginning of 2024. And I already told you guys this was going to happen. I told you guys this from last year. I said first half 2024 is going to be hectic. Okay. I also told you guys in one of the videos that people are going to be put to shame this year. There's going to be some embarrassment in people's lives this year, because there's going to be so much revelations. You know, the devil tries to make good look like it's evil and evil look like it's good. Like, people are calling good evil and calling evil good. And because people don't have discernment, you know, when things start to play out and the truth comes out, people are going to be like, man, what did I do? Same situation like with you guys, how like people will put you down in the past. They put you down. They may have rejected you, ridiculed you, whatever situation you went in, whether it's the workplace, whether it's family, whatever situation that you were in. And then when the truth came out, you notice how many of you guys, the people that, you know, put you down and said whatever they said about you or did whatever they did to you, mistreated you, you notice how years later they can't even face you. Don't you guys notice that? Or you notice how years later they can't even talk to you. It's like a lot of them, you know they should apologize, but there's so much embarrassment and so much shame. It's almost like their pride won't let them. And then there's some people, they don't know how to. They don't know how to. And the problem is that people have a hard time forgiving themselves when they hurt people. Sometimes people, you may forgive someone, but people that did this stuff, they're operating from a specific spirit, and that spirit won't even allow them to forgive themselves until they go through heavy repentance. So this is why many times when people do you wrong, you won't really hear an apology from them or see an apology from them, because the spirit they're dealing with won't even let them forgive themselves. But they know that they were wrong. They feel shame, you know. God was telling me yesterday, he was saying almost there, and I wrote the word down. I'm like, I'm gonna post it today, but I couldn't post it this morning. But God is saying that many of you guys, you're almost there. You're literally almost there. And I want to just tell you, the enemy is mad. The devil is mad. The devil is mad. I told you guys that, not just for you guys, but I even said it about myself too. I said, guys, like the beginning of 2024, we're gonna get arrows aimed at us from different areas. And the reason why I said that, because God told me a group of his children were gonna go through things. And I started saying all this before things even played out. I've been prophesying this from the ending of 2023, if y'all remember those videos, because I felt it. I felt it in my spirit, and God was letting me know there's going to be a heavy warfare, but he let me know it's not just for me, it's for a group of people, because we are close to giving birth. We are close to something new, right? And the devil is angry. The devil is mad, because despite what we've endured for years, a lot of us kept going no matter what. A lot of us pushed through no matter what. Even when we had tears in our eyes, even when we were begging on our knees, even with the bruises that we had on our skin, even with the scars that we had on our skin, even with the scars, even with our hearts being scarred, we pushed through. We pushed through. And God said to me this morning, he said, almost there. And one thing he also mentioned to me was that he said that there's some people that are going to be so embarrassed for how they did many of us. Literally, people from your past, family. And what it's going to be, it's going to be the fruits that are going to be the proof. Let your obedience and let your fruits clap back for you. You get what I'm saying? Because you have to understand something with people that mistreated you in the past, that are currently mistreating you, whatever you're going through, you have to understand something. It's the spirit operating through these people. It's not them. You can't be mad at someone for not being strong enough to resist the devil. You can't. Everybody's strength is different. Should they know better? Yeah, they should know better. God said they should know better. God said they know better. But you can't be upset at people for not having that strength to resist the devil, because we all went through the same tests. The point of a test is to train you, is to teach you. So even while they're mistreating you in the midst of this test, or while they may have done certain things to you in the midst of this test, you have to understand that alone is going to teach them. That alone is going to teach them. We've all been in a situation in our life where we may have mistreated someone. We may have put someone down. We may have hurt someone. We've all been there. And we've all learned from it. I can look back at the past and I can reflect on the times where I may have been mean to people in the past. You get what I'm saying? Or I may have said certain mean things to people. And to be honest, years later, even though I've repented and I've apologized for it, I still think back to my high school days where I was trying to prove myself so much because I was bullied so much in my elementary school days. So when I got into high school, it's almost like I had to start high school with this type of image. I had to present myself a certain type of way just to make sure that I wasn't going to be bullied in high school, because I was tired of being bullied in elementary school. So when I presented myself a certain type of way, which was not who I am or who I was, it was me fronting to be something I wasn't, right? I remember I used to pick on this girl in high school because she was so pretty. She was so pretty, and I used to pick on her. And there was things that I saw about her in high school that I was like, man, I wish I was athletic like that. Man, I wish I was this, I wish I was that. And that was because I was going through a lot at home. I was traumatized. I was going through a lot of pressure. I was going through a lot of abuse, emotionally, mentally. I was in a foster home at the time. You know what I mean? And, you know, there was a time where I'm like, man, that's not nice, Stephanie. You shouldn't be feeling this way about her. So I corrected myself. When I was feeling this way about her, I corrected myself about it. And then I repented for it. I went about my way, right? Went about my way. And years later, I still think back to, oh my gosh, like I was so mean to her, and I didn't even have to be. And she was actually a very nice girl. You get what I'm saying? So years later, I still remember that. Even though I repented, I still remember that. That's a memory that doesn't leave my mind. because it reminds me of a time and a place in my life where I was something that I wasn't, and I wasn't proud of it. And I was like, man, I don't ever want to be that person again. You know what I'm saying? Even though it was mainly for about like 2-3 months where I felt that way, it was not right, you know. But it followed. Yeah, but it followed me for a certain time, because again, it brings me back to a place where I'm just like, man, I don't ever want to be like that again. So God allowed me to experience that, and allowed me to remember about that. Even as an adult today, years later, I always still think back to that, because I'm like, man, I don't ever want to be like that, you know, ever again. And like I said, although I was going through a rough patch in my life at the time, I was looking at someone that was a reflection of who I wanted to be. Like she looked like she had it all together, right? And me being in a foster home, the group home, and not having any parents, and you know what I mean? It was like she was a good role model, but I didn't like that. It was a lot of pride I had, right? So I had these uneasy feelings about her for about 2 months, 3 months, but then I checked myself. But even till this day, I feel bad for even thinking like that or feeling like that, right? And that's what I mean when I say that when people hurt you and they do things to you, you have to understand that these people are operating from a specific spirit. Okay? From a specific spirit. God mentioned to me yesterday the analogy of Saul and David. And he was telling me how, you know, in the book, because I was reading the book of Samuel, but he was reminding me of that whole scenario of how, you know, David and Saul originally were getting along, and Saul originally loved David. And what happened was, when Saul started to see that David's anointed was more powerful, right? That's what he thought. He thought his anointed was more powerful, you know, and Saul was seeing a lot of the things he inspired to be in David. And Saul was jealous of David. So it went from him loving David to trying to kill him. But then what ended up happening is that the spirit that took over Saul ended up making Saul obsessed with David, to the point where he was obsessing over David, and he just wanted to know David's every single move. So it's almost like he was stalking David. He even sent people after David. And that's what many of us experience today. Like, you know, because we all had to grow and learn, right? But as we grow through Christ, our anointing gets a lot more powerful, a lot more stronger. You have to understand that there's people that are going to see that anointing on you. And when they see that anointing, it's like they'll go from loving you to hating you. You get what I'm saying? Because they're going to start seeing things about you that they may aspire to be, or they may start comparing themselves similar to what Saul did, right? And then sometimes what ends up happening is they'll start having some sort of obsession with you. You know what I mean? And when they start obsessing over you, they're going to always be keeping tabs on you, trying to see what you're doing, what your next moves are, etc., etc. It becomes an obsession, and then they don't understand that they're not operating from a monitoring spirits standpoint, because now they're not just checking on you because they love you. They're checking on you because they want to see if you fall. They're checking on you to spy on you. And then because that obsession starts to grow, now they're starting to dream about you. Now they're starting to dream about you, because there's, you know, when you think about something so much and you obsess over something so much, you start to dream about it, right? And then when people don't know the difference between a prophetic dream and a dream based on your hatred for someone, a dream based on your obsession for someone, they will mistaken a dream as being prophetic, when that dream could have just simply came from their dislike for it, or their hate, or their obsession for someone. Because if you're obsessing over someone, you're going to start dreaming about them. So there may be people out there who are obsessing over you, and now they're dreaming about you. And sometimes what will happen is their obsession will be so crazy to the point where the dreams they're having now, it's like they're seeing things about your life that they aspire. So sometimes people will obsess about you, and then all of a sudden they're seeing a nice dream of you in your new business, or you in your new home, or you know, your new car, or you your marriage, or they'll start seeing things about your life that's being revealed to them, because they're literally keeping themselves attached to you in that way. When someone's obsessed over you or obsessing over you, they're keeping themselves connected to you, right? And then they'll start seeing things about your life that's good, but they're also going to see things about your life that they want to see, as if they want to believe you're this bad person. So because they have this persona about you, they start dreaming about exactly who they molded you to be. You know, you ever think about something and you start, you know, obsessing over a certain thing, and then you start having bad dreams about it? but it's not actually bad. The enemy does that because the enemy will torment those who allow themselves to be tormented in that way. If you're obsessing over someone and you're monitoring them and you have evil in your heart, you have obsession and hate in your heart, now the enemy is going to manipulate you and twist your dreams. So you get what I'm saying? Because he's going to try to make your heart even harder than what it was. He's going to tempt you. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes it could even be God that may harden your heart towards the person in order for that person to step their game up. As in, like, sometimes God will harden your heart towards someone you already don't like, right? To put you through a test. Not to tempt you, but to put you through that test. To teach you. To show you about your ways, right? But then also God may harden people's hearts towards you to push you further. You get what I'm saying? Because if you remember with Moses and Pharaoh, God hardened Pharaoh's heart in order for Pharaoh to go after Moses. There was a reason why God allowed that to happen, and God wanted that to happen. Just like when Saul obsessed over David, God put a spirit on Saul. Because Saul was his heart was already hardened towards David. He tried to throw arrows at David. David was dodging the arrows, whatever. But God put a spirit on him, which tormented Saul. You see what I'm saying? And so, yes, sometimes God will harden people's hearts towards you, but it's to push you, right? It's to push you. And then the people whose hearts are hardened, they've allowed that because they were already not good in the heart in the first place. They've allowed that because they've already allowed that door to be open. They've already allowed themselves to be tempted by the enemy, right? So God won't tempt you, though. He won't tempt you. But what he will do is he will use that experience. He will use what you're doing, and he will use that as a test to teach you. To say, hey, what you did here was not okay. You get what I'm saying? Or he'll use that as a test to push you further. You know what I mean? So you have to understand that not everybody is strong enough to resist the temptation and to flee. You know, ask the devil to flee from them. A lot of people, they will condone negative feelings, condone negative behaviors. And you can't let that stop you, especially 2024. I've learned this the last 2 weeks. Like, you can't control how people think about you, how people feel about you. If they feel a certain type of way about you and they've already had that feeling or thought about you from the very beginning, chances are most likely they're going to continue to think that way. You get what I'm saying? They're going to continue to think that way unless God comes through and corrects them. And if they're not the kind of people that accept correction, they may hate you for the rest of their life. If they're not the people that accept correction from God. You see what I'm saying? So not everybody is strong enough to resist the devil. Not everybody is. Some people are. Some people are like, man, I'm gonna take accountability, man, and some people, they don't care. But you can't let that stop you. You gotta keep going. This is the year that many of you guys are about to start new beginnings. Literally. And the devil's mad because he can see it. Everybody can see it. Everybody can see it, right? There's breakthroughs happening for many of God's children. So I just want to say that whoever resonates with this, continue pushing, continue moving forward. Don't let anybody slow you down, or don't let anybody stop you. You've been through too much in your life to slow down. If you've been through so much in the past and you had to fight to get to where you are, don't let a person or people that don't even have enough strength to resist the devil slow you down, because you've already done the work. You've been resisting the devil. You've been doing the work. You've been working on your heart. You've been obedient, right? So let your obedience and your fruits do the clapbacking for you. Let your life be the clapback for everybody that's trying to put you down, everyone that's trying to tarnish you, everyone that's trying to do magic on you, black magic, whatever. Let your life, let your fruits, let your obedience be the clapback. Because when people start to see God's hands on your life, that's the only proof they need to see. There's no revenge that's needed, because you don't need to get revenge on anybody. But you let your life and let your fruits do the talking, and just keep going. I'm telling you right now, the way how God is about to bless many of y'all, it's gonna put people to shame. Okay, I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.